Here.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
And here we go. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and I'm glad that you're joining me today. Well, let me tell you, we have stormy clouds outside, and we have stormy clouds on the economic front. Late yesterday, they announced the CPI, or the inflationary rate for America, and it is not good. It just is not good. Now, what is surprising is that everybody is surprised that it jumped up. Inflation is higher than expected. You see these big things on the news. Inflation is higher than expected at 6.4%, with the most important measure remaining evaluated, and that is the Fed's going to raise more interest rates? Well, yes, the answer to that is yes. And is inflation going to go up? Yes. Are we going to have a soft landing? Hell no. And I've been telling you this for a long time. We are in a recession at the moment in the economy. And we have been there for quite some time. Now, I was really interested. I saw this one article, and it was done by the National Review. And the headline read, "Terrible New Inflationary Numbers Nullifies Biden's State of the Union." So everything that Biden has told you about the economy is gone. And basically what he did is he stood up there before the nation and lied. When news agencies start saying, especially the business side of news, start saying terrible new inflationary numbers nullify Biden's State of the Union boasts, there's a problem here. And the problem is we have a leader that is not leading. He has the title of president, but is not doing his job. In fact, what happened with the CPI, now that has confused the stock market. They don't know exactly what's happening. Because they were expecting really good numbers on inflation. They thought it was going to start going down. But we have been hit with too many different things. In fact, today, in the, what is that news agency? The New York Post. I love the New York Post because they're all over the place. But the headline today was, "It's time for Biden to go. Even Democrats think so." The problem is that Biden doesn't understand the economy, and government doesn't understand the economy. So government thinks, well, let's throw more money at it. Let's throw more money at the problem, but that creates more problem. That creates more inflation. The bill that was passed, that was called the Inflation Reduction Act, did not reduce inflation. It raised inflation because as of January 1st, what happened? If you heated your home with natural gas, there was a higher gas tax on that. So prices went up. Your cost to heat your home, to keep it warm and nice during the winter, went up. It doubled. You look at California, Californians are really suffering. You have some people where their monthly bills used to be $250, now it's up into the $600s. That's a big hit to take in your pocketbook every month. But that's happening across the nation because of bad economic policies and energy policies set out by the administration. Now, the one thing that has hurt all of Americans is they thought that prices were falling, but unfortunately, that did not happen for food. Groceries remain a pain point because the inflationary on eggs, the cost of eggs have gone up, the cost of milk has gone up, the cost of everything in that supermarket has gone up. I have articles down in the base of my podcast showing that all these information and documentation of what I'm talking about today, what people are talking about in the news. I have been talking about this for so long. I really have. I've been telling you guys, if you've been listening to my podcast, I have been telling you that inflation is going to be here for at least another 2 years. And the only thing that's going to change it is a change in the presidency. Because everything that the president is touching, everything that Kamala Harris is touching, is going in the opposite direction of what they think it should be going. Because they don't know what they're doing. They don't have the good advisors around them. One other thing on unemployment. Now, this good unemployment rate that Biden keeps touting, the projection in most of the analysts out there are saying that the unemployment rate can change, and it may happen very quickly. It's going to bounce up. And if you look at all of the layoffs that have been going on, with all the tech industries out there, laying off thousands of people every month, every week almost now, we have a problem. So that unemployment number is going to go up. The unemployment claims that you can file for has also gone up over the last week. So when we look at the unemployment numbers next time, I believe that we're going to see a point up. We're going to tick up. And then that is going to push the feds to do more rate hikes. So we have a messed up economy at the moment. Do not believe what these people are telling you from the White House, because they're lying to you, because they know what they've done is wrong. The only way to get out of this mess is that Americans need to see that the government is serious about cutting their spending. And to also start cutting their tax hikes. If the American people can see that the government is serious about this, there might be a little bit of enthusiasm from the American people saying, well, if the government is doing something, maybe we can do something in our lives too. Unfortunately, in our own personal economic lives, and we are trying to manage this economy of our families very well, and we're doing that with a lot of stuff, families have already done as much as they possibly can. That's why the credit card debt is so high. We've never had credit card debt this high before in our nation. Because people cannot live within what they're making through their wages. Inflation is much higher than the wages earned. So what do? Well, they turn to their credit cards. And that creates more debt. Debt is never good. And so that's what happens with the government also. They cannot afford to pay their bills, so what do? They want to raise the debt ceiling. Not cut anything, because they're foolish. They don't know what they're doing. But Americans, we have to cut. We don't have this, we don't have that. We are just focused on our food, paying our house rent or bills, and our utility bills, and that's about it. Or food and clothing for the kiddos. So the kids are suffering too. So we have a nation that is printing money, spending more money, because they think that everything is cured by spending more money. And as you can tell, through all of the stimulus packages that have been passed by the United States Congress and signed by the President of the United States, it has not helped the economy one bit. It has created more debt, more inflation, and now we're in a recession, which will become a deep recession over the long next 2 years. It's going to be a long 2-year process until we can get somebody in there that knows what they're doing and that hires a team around them that know what they're doing. Not government philosophers, not government people, but people who have been out in the real world and they know exactly what to do to this real economy that we have. We cannot keep throwing government money at stuff hoping that it's going to fix something, because it never does. The more money you spend, the more damage it does to the economy. Biden doesn't believe that. The Democratic Congress and senators, they don't believe that. They think that the more money they spend, the better it's going to be. But the problem is that it creates more inflation for the American people. So I'm concerned. I'm highly concerned. By the way, the mortgage demand has dropped again because interest rates are going up. They're bouncing up again, which means that home prices will drop again. Delinquencies and mortgage payments will rise. And the ability to own a home is going to be stalled for the next 2 years. I tell you, I don't like saying this stuff. I hate saying this stuff. I don't like this. I am so pissed off and I'm fed up. And I don't understand why the government keeps destroying the economy the way it keeps destroying it. We have had major train derailments that have created havoc and chaos within communities. They have had to move out of their homes because of the chemical reactions on that train and it bursting into flames. And we have a transportation secretary that's talking about balloons, but not talking about the problems on the rails. And listen, there's a big push by the government that everybody should be using the train systems throughout the United States, and they have enhanced the people working on there, and they've raised the wages of these people. But here we now have 3 derailment emergencies where chemicals are burning in fish are dying in the rivers and lakes. Animals are falling over dead. And we have a government that is talking about balloons and not responding to the needs of the American people. So we have a messed up, I almost used the F word there, sorry. But we have a messed up, chaotic government at the moment. And we need to do something very quickly here to get us back online. Americans are suffering at the grocery store. Gas prices are beginning to go up. Joe Biden is going to sell off 26 million barrels from the strategic reserve, which he should not be doing. We have a messed up government at the moment. And it's time that something changes here. Otherwise, you and we are going to be suffering really hard for the next 2 years. I don't like saying it, but that's the truth. My goodness. I think I'm done. I got to go work on client issues today. But I'm done with this because the government does not know what they're doing. They have failed so badly. And our economy has gotten so bad that it's affecting every person's life in the United States today. I could talk about the rest of the world because I know that they're suffering too. However, my focus is on our country, our economic issues. Listen, if you want to have more access to me, go to my website at www.lodge-co.com. If you want to send me a business question, send it to thebusinessadvisor@gmail.com. If you'd like to support my podcast, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. Okay, everybody. Have a great day. I'm counting on you. Bye-bye.